Bachelor, where we put the meh in Mexico. Hey there, hi there, ho there, Andrew here, and we are reviewing, recapping, and reacting to Bachelor Episode 5. Ben starts us off by screaming out, Viva la Mexico. So that means, obviously, they're not in Las Vegas anymore, and they have now moved to Epcot. While in Mexico, the ladies are staying at a small little quaint resort called the Four Seasons. To the first date card, we get confessional shots of Olivia saying that she knows that her name is going to be on the date card. And I have to say, wrong-o. Becca the Virgin gets the card, and she reads out loud, Amanda, let's put all of our eggs into one basket, Ben. All of our eggs in one basket? Is that like an egg-themed picnic? I don't know. If not, the yoke's on us. Olivia then tells in a confessional shot that she was surprised that Amanda's name was on the date card and says, you know, because she has children. What does that body language mean? It's like when a doctor tells you bad news. I'm sorry to tell you, Amanda, but it seems that you've contracted pregnancy. Twice. Oh my goodness, Doc, how did that happen? To the first one-on-one date, and I have to say, this is hilarious. Why? Because the producers have gotten Ben to come to the women's hotel suite at, wait for it, 4:20 in the morning. I will leave you to come up with your own wake and bake joke there. It is way too easy for me. So Ben walks around the ladies' suite saying, good morning, which is not creepy at all. So all the ladies are concerned about her looks, but Olivia says that she's concerned, in her own words, about her dragon breath. So we finally have it confirmed. She has stank breath. I will be honest here, all the girls look pretty rough in the morning, except for Amanda. She wakes up and she is not groggy at all. We get more confessional shots of Olivia talking smack about Amanda, and I have to think, why do you have to be up this early in the morning for a date? Oh, it's a hot air balloon. If it ain't plane travel, if it isn't helicopter travel, it's gotta be by hot air balloon. So Amanda says in confessional shots that Ben is so sweet and he's so amazing and he's unlike any of the other men that she's dated before. Now I'm a little confused on this one because she has said she hasn't dated anybody since her divorce. And that was 2 years ago. And I am assuming that she wasn't dating anybody when she was pregnant at 22, other than the father of the children that she married. So it can only be said that she's basically comparing Ben to the teenagers that she dated in high school. I could not focus on anything else but one thing during this whole conversation that they have in the middle of nowhere. And that is that Amanda has a mature version of the Valley Girl dialect. I say that because she says the word like way too often. Also, she goes up in her inflections at the end of her sentences. Like when she's talking to Ben about her feelings, and she just wants to kind of share with him. I don't understand that. I still like her, though. Group date card. We see Jubilee in confessional shots, and she is not feeling confident at all in her standings with Ben. Jubilee? Not confident? I've never saw that one before. Emily, who is the solitary twin now, says a few things in Spanish that's on the card, and then says something like, about a way to a man's heart. She then reads out Jubilee, Becca, Jojo, Kayla, Emily, Lauren B, Jennifer, Leah, and Olivia. Have you noticed that she's normally at the end of the list? So this means that Lauren H is going to be going on to the second one-on-one. We get back to Ben and Amanda, mother of two, dinner plate for one. She shares about her first marriage and how her ex-husband was apparently immature. Really? You think a guy in his early 20s that suddenly thrusted into fatherhood might act immature? What are the odds? So this date was sponsored apparently by the words thank you and the word like. I think that the Valley Girl thing must be contagious because that's all Ben can say is like. And Amanda keeps on saying thank you after everything that he says to her. And at the end of the date, he gives her a rose. And she says thank you. To the group date, the 9 ladies end up into a classroom where they get a chance to learn Spanish. And this is how you get into a man's heart? I thought it was through his stomach. So Jubilee keeps on getting confessional shots about how apparently she does not like competing with the other women. What is she on this show then for? Then when she gets a chance to interact with Ben via Spanish dialogue, she tells him a line that I thought was great. And that is when he was saying things like, I love you. She says, That's what you just said to the last 4 girls. However, Olivia felt that he apparently only said those things to her. I really wonder what the weather's like in her world. Now that this show is out of class, like it had any to begin with, the ladies find out that they are going to have to make dinner. And they don't have to make any kind of dinner here. They have to go to a Mexican restaurant, which happens to be owned by a brother and sister. But this brother and sister combo have recipes that are given out that are written in Spanish only. So they have to take what they learned in this class, which they only talked about love. I don't know how they're going to get this on a recipe. My tacos are made with love. Yeah. I'm getting lost here. Anyway, the ladies are broken up into teams of 2, but since there's 9 of them, that means that Ben's going to have to be on one of the girls' team, and Jubilee wants to make sure that she's the one. However, Olivia interrupts everything, as she always does, and she says she claims him. So either she thinks Ben is a jacket, or she's been hanging out with Daryl and Joe on The Walking Dead way too long. The teams of 2 go shopping, and Olivia decides to make this more of a one-on-one date than a group date, and keeps on pulling Ben away to try different types of samples of food. Ben one-ups her by taking her to a stand that's outside for some fresh mint. She has death breath. We go back to the suite where we see that Amanda reads out the second one-on-one date card to Lauren H. that says, "Let's design a life together, Ben." The brother, sister, /owner, /judge, /whatever go ahead and look at all the food that was prepared. And for the most part, they are pretty fair across the board until they get to Olivia and Ben's dish. The sister actually says to the brother in Spanish that it looks like dog food. And it does. Maybe that's why Olivia has bad breath. She's been eating dog food this whole time. After the cooking competition, the ladies go back to their suite, change into their cocktail attire, and Jubilee is ready to be the first one to hang out with Ben. So Ben sits down with the ladies, and he gets to start to talk his normal lines about, "Oh, I had so much fun with you ladies," and, blah, 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 blah. And then Olivia interrupts him. So Olivia pulls Ben away, and we get shots of her laughing with him, and her mouth being open, and her being as phony as she normally is. And Emily decides to interrupt. Good on you, Emily. Wonder Twin power activate. Honey girl Lauren B is the next one on the list, and leaves the venue to go and talk with Ben, which I have to say is by far the best move I have seen so far on this show. I mean, no one can interrupt you if you're not even on the venue. Ben gets back and he wants to talk to Jubilee. He goes for her hand. She pulls her hand away, mumbling about how she doesn't want to make other people feel uncomfortable. Too late! Because when they leave, the other ladies go ahead and say, awkward. We all know that Jubilee has an inferiority complex, and Ben is as reassuring as he possibly can be for her and says that he had a great one-on-one with her, but she keeps on pulling away. Ben then asks her the turning point of the night question, and that is, does she see them furthering their relationship? How does she answer? She says, "I want you to tell me." What? At this point in time, all of Bachelor Nation knows that she has to go, and Ben realizes it as well. He says that he doesn't see them going any further, and then asks to walk her out. Ben enters the area where all the girls are sitting, and he wants to sit down and speak about what just happened with Jubilee, but you can see that he's got a loss for words because he's really trying to put it all together. So as he stammers around for his words, JoJo interrupts to get a little one-on-one time. They go and talk a little bit, she consoles him, and then they make out. Well, I guess he's over Jubilee. Ben seems a little recharged after that make-out session with JoJo, and he tells the ladies that he's going to give the group date rose to someone that has reconnected with him. Olivia. At this point in time, I scream like someone just stabbed a voodoo doll of me. Olivia tells the ladies, "You don't have to say congratulations, and believe me when I say this, Olivia, that isn't what they want to say to you." To the second one-on-one date where Ben and Lauren H. go to a fashion store and check out new fashions and get invited to a fashion show. Cut back to the hotel suite where Emily and Jennifer are talking, and Emily comes to the conclusion that if Olivia is something that Ben wants, then she shouldn't be there. So she tells Jennifer that she needs to talk to Ben. We go back to Lauren H. and Ben, and they are now told that they're not just going to go to the model show, they are going to be in it. No pressure there. Ben and Lauren H. do the show, they have fun, and they move on to dinner, and you know that the other models aren't going to join them because they're only allowed to eat once a month. And because Bachelor is known for their great dinner conversation, we start the dinner off with Lauren H. telling Ben how her first love cheated on her with several different women, and it wasn't going to ruin her happiness. Ben responds back in his normal way by saying things like, "That's incredible," and I know that he means that in a supportive way, but he is throwing that word around very loosely in this season. He gives her a rose, she accepts, they go out to a street where there's a low musician playing music and they make out. Come on, Bachelor, you could be doing better than that. In Ireland, you had the Cranberries there. You're in Mexico now. You could at least have Taco playing Putting on the Ritz. I am so culturally insensitive. Side note, the artist Taco was actually born in Indonesia and lived in Germany. So Amanda's talking about the custody rights of her ex-husband and how he gets some time with the children while she gets some time with the children, and basically what is going on while she's on this show. Then Olivia says something out loud to Amanda in front of all the other women, and that is, I feel like this is an episode of Teen Mom. What? This obviously offends Amanda, as well all the other women there. So we get a chance to see Olivia try and backpedal, which is just not happening, but is very funny to watch, and I think I finally figured out why her mouth opens up so big. And that is because when she puts the foot in her mouth, she's got to get past that cankle. Emily has had enough of it, and she pretends that she's going to go over to the bathroom, but she really goes to talk to Ben. She tells Ben about Olivia and begins to cry because apparently Olivia has really gotten under Emily's skin for some reason. So what happens during all of this? Olivia interrupts them, and we call that damage control. Ben tries to get some information from Olivia, and we get the chance to see some confessional shots of Emily, who is upset about Olivia, and she begins to talk to her twin on the phone. Why do people talk on the phone? I didn't think you were allowed to have a phone on this show. Every episode, somebody's on the phone. Then we see Ben in a confessional shot, and he says he's confused about Olivia. He's the only one. We got our minds made up on this woman. He spends some more time with Amanda, and she tells him a little bit more about Olivia. Jennifer then gets a chance to speak ill of Olivia to Ben as well. Chris Harrison shows up for the rose ceremony. Ben then says to Chris Harrison that he wants to speak to Olivia before the rose ceremony. The girls then speculate on what is going to happen to Olivia, and we get to be continued. You son of a... So the only one that was eliminated this week was Jubilee, and that wasn't during a rose ceremony. So what is going to happen next week? Are we getting 2 rose ceremonies? What are your thoughts? If you liked the video, make sure you share it and tap that like button. Don't forget to subscribe so you get notified the moment I upload. And I will see you in the next video.